Welcome everyone, and warm greetings to all who joined our exclusive Resco product webinar. Today we are very excited to reveal the latest features what has been developed by Resco team in the most recent release. And this is the perfect platform to understand the features, to learn rationale behind why Resco has dedicated time to develop those features and what are the added values for the end users. And I have to mention that Resco has changed the way how we are doing the releases. We jumped from 4 releases to 3 releases a year. We will have a winter, spring, and autumn or fall release every single year from now. And there has been many reasons why we have decided to shorten the number of releases, and one of the main reasons was to deliver better quality, to deliver more quality products by prolonging the testing period internally and also as well externally by our beta community. And the second reason also was to streamline the internal development processes with the external communication. So let's jump into it. This is the fall or autumn release and updates. So get ready for the news and the newest enhancements and improvements to be presented by my colleague from the esteemed product management team. So our colleague Ludovít Bobola, who joined us to lead the activities related Power Platform. Then we have a Tibor, whose ambition is to manage our one and only Resco platform for building mobile applications. Peter Matejik is dedicated for the inspection scenarios. Michal Magnusek, product manager for innovations, integrations, and the knowledge scenarios. And my name is Eduard Kesely. I am a head of product, and I will be your host today. So our agenda is bringing the latest improvements and features categorized based on the product area they belong to, which means we will learn and we will start with the platform enhancements, then we will continue with the inspection scenarios and inspections features, then we will reveal you our newest add-on to our product portfolio, what we are doing for the Microsoft Power Platform. We will continue with the Resco guides and also finish with the improvements what we delivered for the Resco Cloud. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar after the presentation, but you can also submit your questions right now using the webinar tool. So let's dive into it and start with the first enhancement for the Resco platform.
Thank you very much, Ede, for the introduction. My name is Tibor Molnár, and I'm the product manager for the Resco platform. In my session shortly, I will be telling you about the improvements and changes in this release regarding the platform. First of all, let's clarify what do we mean when we say Resco platform. Here at Resco, internally, putting it very simply, with Resco platform, we mean the mobile CRM solution and the Wood 4 package. So basically, the Resco platform is our flagship product, which offers unparalleled offline capabilities, as you surely know. And improving continuously the Resco platform is for us a very strong commitment to all the users, to all the partners, to you who are using this product and your customers and users. In this release, we have been focusing on 3 main areas. The first area was improving the Dataverse and Dynamics compatibility. The second big topic was improving the overall user experience and the visual of the application. And the third topic was the new functionalities and improvements to the existing functionalities. So let's go into the Dataverse section. What were actually the problems that we were trying to solve with these changes? The Resco suite on Dynamics backend did not support all the features of Dataverse or Dynamics, and conversely, some Resco suite functions were not available on Dynamics backend. So with this release, we wanted to make sure that all our users and customers who are using the Dynamics backend can experience the full Resco capabilities, and also that we are adopting all the latest functions of Microsoft Dataverse in our application. Going into the details and into the functions, the first big topic is the enhanced support for virtual tables. At this point, we would need to clarify maybe a little bit what are virtual tables. These are actually Microsoft's way how to make data from external systems available in Dataverse. So with these virtual tables function and changes, we are now supporting full write operations in the virtual tables. Actually, this means that with the external data sources that are supported out of the box by Microsoft, these are Microsoft SQL Server, SharePoint, and Excel. We can use in our Resco application all this data from these data sources. Also, custom data can be integrated into virtual tables. These are not supported yet out of the box by Microsoft, but there are OData connectors which can provide custom data providers, and we can integrate, or you can actually integrate a large scale of applications into virtual tables. Very important thing is that with virtual tables, we are supporting the full offline capability of Resco Suite. So you can use the data from the external sources from virtual tables just as if they would be regular data sources. So you can use all the customizations, all the sync filters that are available for any other entity. The value with this solution that we provide to the customers is that if you are a mobile user, actually with the integration of the external data into your mobile application, you can prevent the mobile user from the need to switch to different applications to enter some other data to some other application, because you can make this data directly available in the mobile CRM application. One interesting use case of this virtual tables feature could be that, for example, if your company or your partner has some custom internal application which is working, for example, on Microsoft SQL backend, you could use the Microsoft SQL database as a virtual database, and you could use the Resco mobile CRM application as a mobile solution for that maybe legacy application that was developed long time ago and did not have any offline capabilities. The next feature regarding Dataverse is the tagged image support. This functionality has been enabled in Resco Suite for quite some time. Actually, this was last year's release. Now we are supporting this feature in Dataverse as well. What is the tagged image? Tagged image can be considered something like an augmented reality, an augmented image. You can imagine it as you have a picture, it can be a floor plan, it can be a picture of a machinery, and you are able to place entities over this picture. You can click those entities and you can make changes on those entities. This feature is especially useful if you have field service technicians who are working in the field, are trying to perform some kind of work on a machinery that they do not know the exact location of. So you can create a form with the tagged image where the picture is shown with the exact location of the device. So your field service technicians can save significant time in actually not looking for the asset that they need to perform the work on, but they are directly working on it because you have provided all the visual information where they need to find this asset. And the third improvement for Dataverse is the support for file columns. File columns is actually something that Microsoft prefers for the storage of binary data. Historically, these documents have been stored as annotations, but storing them in file columns enables better management of the relationship between the actual data and the binary data, and this storage method increases Dataverse compatibility and makes some additional processing of data, like in Power BI, much more efficient than before. So, and now we are going into the next big feature, which is the sync stats analyzer. With the sync stats analyzer, we are trying to tackle basically three major problems. As most of you know, long sync times can be a major pain point for any customer in the field or any user in the field. So it's of course an utmost importance for every Resco admin to optimize the sync times as good as they can. Identifying sync issues, so issues that lead to long or suboptimal sync times, can be sometimes overwhelming and very often requires the support of Resco people. And in order for Resco to provide an efficient support, of course, we need some logs, we need some supporting data, and collecting all those can be sometimes challenging. This is what we are trying to solve with the sync stats analyzer. So this is a feature that we will be looking into shortly. And the aim of this feature actually is to empower you as Woodford admins to better optimize their sync processes and identify any bottlenecks that can lead to suboptimal sync times. How does it actually work? The sync stats analyzer is something which is available in the mobile app. So in the setup settings, there's a new menu point, sync stats analyzer, where you can download all the statistics, and you can afterwards analyze these statistics in Excel. In this release, we were focusing on making this data available and to see which data has the most added value. So it's aimed more at the technical users without any fancy graphics output, but the CSV output provides metrics of approximately 30 and more data that can show you in which stage of the application and which entities took the most time to sync. We recommend you to check out the entry on the sync stats analyzer on Resco Wiki because this is a much deeper topic that we do not have now the opportunity to dive deeper into, but is definitely very useful, and we are welcoming your feedback on this feature, how we can develop it further in the future releases. And going to the next topic, which we call accelerated taming and also other UI and UX improvements. Here, basically, there were two big problems that we wanted to solve with this release, and both of them were related to taming of the application. Of course, probably you know that when you are trying as a Resco partner sell an application to a customer, it's very important that the customer can identify with the application, with the solution, with the demo that you are creating for them. Creating a good team demo can be sometimes complicated because it could take a long time to adjust all the colors in all the places in the application. And very often it could lead also to color choices that were not really optimal, where the readability was impacted, and basically it could have been done in a better way. The solution that we have introduced is basically very simple and working in a very good way. The functionality works in a way that you can select a single brand color. When you select a single brand color, the application uses an algorithm that is also used by Google and the material design to select a set of matched colors, which are called tokens in the material design terminology, and applies these tokens across the application, ensuring that the contrasts between the elements are good and that the colors are matching and the application looks always professional. This feature creates two themes, so a light theme and a dark theme, that the users can switch in the mobile application, and it is ensured that both themes have the matching colors that provide the optimal contrast. Of course, with this feature, you can still enable the advanced settings and customize your project very deep down into the details if you want to, but you can do simple taming in a single click, actually. If you are interested how to apply this feature on our existing project, I recommend to you to check out the video from our wonderful UX specialist, Adela Kovářová. The link to the video will be attached to this session once it is released on YouTube. So if you are interested in that, please make sure to come back to it, check that link out, and it will show you how to apply it in the recommended way to the existing projects without breaking any compatibility. Also in this section of UX and UI improvements, we have significantly improved the form style editor. You can actually see it on the presentation, how the old and how the new style editor looks like. So at first glance, it's visible that it's much more streamlined, much more organized. It's much more easier to find the settings that you are looking for. And also one very important thing is in the form style editor that with this release we have enabled component-specific styles. That means that you can now create styles that are specific only to a given type of component. For example, drop-downs. When you are trying to apply a style to a component of the specific types, only the styles are shown that are relevant for that given component. So with this change, you can create a much better organized set of styles, and it can be much more clearer which style is applied for which elements in the application. Also, with this release, we have continued on our journey to improve the form design. You can also see on the presentation, I think we have come quite a long way from the initial form design to a newer, much better design, in my opinion, with reduced information density and much better visibility. One thing I would like to highlight that with this release we have included or introduced something called the vertical segmented buttons. So it can be used as a replacement for the previous drop-downs, where you can immediately see all the options available and do not need to click a drop-down just to see that what are the options that you can choose from. So summing up all these features, the important things and takeaways are the support for the light and dark mode switch, and also the single-click project theming, which is based on the brand color, so you can select the color of your company, of your partner's company, your customer's company, and theme the application in a single click without spending hours and hours in customizing the application. So we recommend to try this out for any demos that you are doing to your prospects, because it will be much more simpler than it was before. Now, going into the area of new features, one of the features that we are introducing is the advanced image editor. If you were familiar with the previous image editor, you probably know that this image editor supported only manual drawings over the picture. So for example, if your field technician had to highlight some part on a picture, like a building or a part of a building or part of a machinery, his only option was to draw it by finger. Which of course resulted in pictures that didn't look as good as they could. So we have implemented a new image editor to solve this problem. With the new image editor, you are able to draw shapes, straight lines, arrows, rectangles, circles. You can do pinch to zoom on the picture. You can write text to the picture, which has now a much better visibility because it has automatically enabled stroke and shadow. Actually the picture where the field technician wants to show or highlight something can look much better now. If for any reason you want to switch back to the old editor, you still have the possibility in the boot for configuration menu. There's a setting enabling the legacy image editor, and you can use the old one if you have any reason to do so. And the last feature that we are introducing are the improvements in the rule editor. What was our goal with this feature? We wanted to enable users to create forms with commands that are much more streamlined, where the field service technician can achieve the same things with as few clicks as possible. Let's look at it. How does it look like? With this new feature, you are actually able to run and execute commands directly from rules without the need for the mobile user to press any buttons on the form, like the command buttons in the hamburger menu or a button directly on the form. For example, now commands can be auto-executed when changing a field. So if the field technician fills in the name of the customer, the rule engine can automatically detect that this change has been triggered, and with a non-change rule, you can actually execute any command like sending an email to the customer. This enables you also to disable the manual execution of commands completely. And you can now leave it to automatic execution, making your form much more cleaner because you do not have to have the buttons there. Another things that this change enables is the queuing of multiple commands. So, for example, if you want to set up a rule that if the value of order is larger than something, then you want to automatically provide a discount of a certain value, you can do that. And also you can use now comments as snippets for rules. This was a feature that was much requested by some of our customers. So if you have a repeating set of rules that you are using in several rules within the form, you can place these rules into comments and just then calling them from the rules. It makes your rules actually much more simpler to maintain and much more simpler to execute. The next change in relation with the rule engine is the distance calculation in rules, which is now available on all mobile platforms. This feature can have two use cases. One use case is that you want to make sure and want to provide some information to your mobile user if he's at the correct location. So you can create a rule where you can compare the GPS location of a certain entity that he has just opened with the location of the user's device. And if the user is at the wrong location, so that the locations do not match within a set tolerance, you can show him an information that you are trying to work with an entity, but you are not at the given location. Also, this feature could be used to automatically create and close bookable resources booking when the user is at the location. So you do not need the user to open a resource booking, but you can create a rule for that. So if he opens the given entity and he's at the present location, then the bookable resource booking can be automatically triggered. Thank you very much for your time. That was all from my side and from the side of the improvements in Resco platform. And now I'm handing over the word to Peter Matejik, who will be telling you about the improvements in the Resco inspections module.
Thank you, Tibor, and welcome everyone. My name is Peter, and I will tell you more about the development that we have done on Resco inspections. As you may know, we are updating our UI and UX across the board, and now I will tell you more about the updates that we have done on questionnaires. We have solved several problems on this release, and those were that users want to use questionnaires where design is more up to date. They also wanted to use longer description for group. They also wanted to add some guidance for users while they are answering questions. And in some cases, option clear in option set question doesn't really make a sense for specific use cases. So those were the problems that we have tackled this release, and those are the solutions that we came up with. So from now on, you can use flexible size for group name. You can also add supporting text under each question so that answering is more intuitive, and when users don't really know what to do, they can check the supporting text and answer those questions more easily with better confidence. And the last thing on this slide is that you can use from now on border top position for labels, which were previously available on our platform, but now is also available on questionnaires as well. The next thing that I mentioned was clear, and from now on, as you can see, you can rename this clear option to something more accurate, like in this case NA, not applicable. You can use any name as you want for your specific use case. Next thing that we have checked was toolbar. In some cases, really admins wants to have better overview of tools that they can use in Questionnaire Designer, and we want to broaden this option so that we brought this new feature which will help them to navigate better on Questionnaire Designer. Here we have added new editing toolbar. These functions are functions which can be really quickly accessible and are used more often, which also resulted in freeing up some space up here so that you don't need to scroll to the left and to the right to see all options available on Questionnaire Designer, and you have them all on one screen. On top of that, we have added these new sections called options. And we have started to move some global options of questionnaires into this section. So they will be all available in one spot, accessible at any time. So this will also make your life easier, and it will make questionnaire designer more intuitive to use. So this would be everything from me, and now I will ask Ludo to tell you more about Resco solutions for Power Platform. Thank you.
Hello everyone. What we are going to show you now are Resco solutions built for Power Platform. What we did as Resco is that we took our existing tools and we embedded them into the Power Platform. And thanks to this, we will show you today 3 new products that we have: Resco Forms Plus, Resco Docs Plus, and Resco Steps Plus. Let me show you the first one, Forms Plus. In case of Forms Plus, we looked at the problem that Power Platform allows to configure forms and to do the frontline data collection. But without dedicated tools, the process is complicated and time-consuming. So our motivation was to provide customers with the ability to use our Resco questionnaires natively integrated in the Power Apps and Power Pages. What is the solution? It's really advanced data collection solution for the Power Platform, and it utilizes our existing Resco tools such as Questionnaire Designer, Questionnaire Player, Results Viewer. And what it really does, it provides users with this Form Designer tool that helps them easily create questionnaires and forms. And this is great for business users because they can make these quick changes in forms, and it's great even for partners because if client needs something more advanced, partner can use this drag and drop interface to generate or design, configure something much more advanced with additional logic. And in the end, these forms can be used to conduct surveys, audits, inspections directly in model-driven apps and Power Pages. Now let's go to the second solution, and it's Docs Plus. In case of this solution, we looked at the problem that there are limited capabilities to design and generate documents directly in the Power Apps. And the motivation was to provide customers with ability to design and automatically generate Resco reports even in the Power Apps. The solution provides users with ability to design and generate documents in the Power Apps and uses Resco tools such as Report Designer and Reports Connector. And what it does, it provides this designer for the reports that has this drag and drop interface where business users can make, again, quick, easy changes. And if something more advanced needs to be done, always partner can configure this and put there this more advanced logic in case the customer needs it. And thanks to this, the users can create, or the partners, clients, can create different kinds of documents such as service reports, acceptance protocols, surveys, and when we have the documents designed, we can generate them. And for this, we use Power Automate workflows together with Resco Reports Connector. And as you can see on the screen, there is a Power Automate workflow, and in the middle, we have the Reports Connector that really generates the document. And what you want to do with this document afterwards, it's up to you. You can save it in SharePoint, send it via email. It depends on your needs and usage of Power Automate. These were Docs Plus. And now let's look at the last one. It's Resco Steps Plus. In this case, we looked at the problem that Power Platform provides limited capabilities in terms of knowledge sharing and creating guides and manuals. And our motivation was to provide customers with ability to design, distribute guides in the Power Apps, and exactly in model-driven Power Apps and Power Pages. What the solution provides is ability to design these guides and then share them with people, with the frontline users or other employees. And for this, we are utilizing our existing guides editor and guides player tools. And what it does, there is this guides designer tool that allows users to design guides according to their needs. So if they need to make inspection of some exact elevator, this elevator has its guide, and the business user can edit these guides really easily in this drag and drop interface. And in case the user wants to use the guide in the field when they are inspecting the elevator, they can open the Model-Driven Power app, look at the guide, and even give feedback to this guide. Thanks to this, the guides are kept up to date with the most relevant and high-quality information. And these were the three solutions that we have for Power Platform. And now let's welcome my colleague, Michal Magnusek.
Thank you, Ludo, for introduction. Now it's time to speak about Resco guides. As Ludo said, we have a couple of new improvements as a part of the Power Platform. So Resco guides are also available in Power Platform as a Steps Plus. And in the future, all features which we develop as a Resco guides will be available as a Resco Steps Plus on the Power Platform. So now let's dive deeper into the new features of Resco guides. The first one is the localization of the guides. The problem was that if you want to use guides in various languages, in the current version of the application, you should create a copy of the guide. So it means that you should handle a couple of guides in various languages. And the only way how you can differentiate them is that you change the name of the guide and you put some tag in which language the guide is created. And this is not the easiest way how you can manage, especially in the long run, the consistency of the content. When you want to compare like one main language and the second language or various secondary languages. So our motivation for us was to, as a standard CMS systems, including Resco Guides Editor, we want to provide a solution to manage the content in the various languages, so you are able to create the localization setup in the properties of the guide. In general, you are able to select a couple of secondary languages, one primary language, and then in the CMS system, in the guides editor, you are able to set up or to do the translation on the one screen, so you see what is the main description of the guide and switch to the secondary language seamlessly. So here in the screen, you are able to see that jumping into the properties, then tap localizations, I need to set a primary language and select the secondary languages. You see that it's a multiple choice. So I select a couple of multiple languages, and then after jumping into the localization mode, I select primary and secondary language, and on the screen I'm able to see the language or the description in the primary language, and on the right side the secondary language. So this is like a standard functionality which you know from the CMS system, but it was missing in the guides editor. Now it's available, and you can work with various guides in one guide as a part of multiple languages. What is good to say is that the structure, when you want to do the export and the import, we basically create multiple JSONs in the background, and there is a relation between main and secondary JSON. So there is only one main guide as a master, and other secondary languages are like related guides to the master guide, depending on the master or primary language. The second feature is searching guides. The problem was that if you have longer process describing the guide and you are searching for the particular part, the only way how you can do it in the current version application is that you should scroll through the whole process and search the particular information which is relevant for you. What we wanted to achieve is like a full text search within the whole guide, no matter if you're using the mobile application or the web application. In the web application, it's pretty easy because you can use the native search of the browser, but in the mobile application, it was not possible to do it. So the solution is that we develop the simple search where you're able to write the relevant content and you can jump through the keywords that you mentioned in the search. Motivation was straightforward, that from the feedback which we received from our users, especially our pilot program members, was that they created a longer guide, so they need to search for the particular part, so it was obvious that we decided to implement this functionality. Here is a short screencast how it looks. As you see, after clicking on the search button, I just input the relevant word, and it's really similar to the web browser search that you are able to jump from one to another one, another keyword that you mentioned in the search input, with ability to jump to previous, to the next one, and reset the search words. That was about Resco guides. As I mentioned at the beginning, all features, and also it was a part of our release, this time that we developed whole guides as a part of the Power Platform. So you are able to include the guides functionality to your Power Platform project without programming any additional service or custom functionality, because you have a guide player available in the guides or Steps Plus, and also you have a complete guides editor as a part of the Power Platform solution package. Now jumping to the Resco Cloud, our proprietary backend. We have a couple of improvements there, but they are mostly focused on improving of the speed and stability of the backend. But we have also one business logic functionality available in this release, which is calculated fields, requested by our customers. The problem was that if you want to create a form which contains, let's say, a couple of numeric fields, and you want to create something like an aggregation or you want to create some formula of calculating of these fields into one field which will be read-only, and you want to prevent any errors while doing or filling the form, and you want to make the field calculated automatically. The only way how you can do it in the current version of the application is that you create something like a post-processing flow or Resco Cloud Floor, which helps you to identify some triggering action and then perform the calculation based on the formula which you define. But it's really complicated, and you should understand the syntax and the representation of the functions when you are creating, let's say, at least some simple form. So what we decided to do is to create a simple definition of the formula. So we are able to create simple definition of the read-only field, where you basically create the relation between numeric fields, or you can put some logic conditions on the backend side. And at the end of the process, you don't need to care about the quality of field in the form, because it will be automatically calculated based on your calculation formula, and also some condition or logical conditions that you define as a part of the formula. The solution is pretty easy. You create the numeric field, then create the formula where you define how it will be calculated, so it will be the inputs of the calculation value or the field. You can also create some definition of the conditions. For example, if the value will be negative, then you can represent it as a 0 or whatever else. So it's not only about the calculation, it's also about some logical conditions, including into one form. And all this performed activity of the field is happening on the backend. So we need to save the value, and then it will be calculated on the backend side. This feature is not currently available on the front-end side, so it's not on the client side, but it's a server-side functionality because we are speaking about Resco Cloud, obviously. And that's it from my side, and I'm giving back my words to Edo to do a short summary. Thank you so much.
Okay, so right now there is a time to summarize the whole webinar. Thank you very much, my colleagues, gentlemen, for introducing the newest add-ons or features. So this has been just one of those which has been selected as the most interesting features, but there is more than 40 enhancements and features in this release. All of them are documented and can be accessed through the Resco Wiki. If there is something I wish to mention or highlight, it would be the focus on improving the user experience for end users and for those who are building the mobile applications to be more productive. And enhancing capabilities of our flagship functionalities such as questionnaires or guides. And at last, first time in the history, Resco-based functionalities can be used and accessed on the Power Platform within the Power Apps and Power Pages. So let's sum it up and go to the questions and answers session.
This question is the right one because we decided to update the version of the OData, so the deprecated version will be replaced with the OData version 4.0. So exactly like it is asked in the question.
So the answer is yes. It's also available in questionnaires. It also can be as a part of the form itself.
If you want to use or install the solutions for Power Platform, you need to go to our Resco website. There, go to Products, find there the Power Platform solutions, and start free trial. So really 4 steps: Resco website, Products, the Power Platform tools or solutions, and then you will be guided to the trial process and steps how to install it in detail. What I can think of right now is offline capabilities. It's more limited in the Power Platform. Then we have JavaScript that's not supported in the Power Platform in the forms that we have there, the questionnaires. And then, for example, barcode scanning doesn't work in questionnaires on Power Platform. And these are like the 3 major ones, and then there are some smaller differences.
So this was related to the questionnaires, right?
Yes.
So what about guides?
Yeah, guys, regarding the Power Apps, the model-driven applications, there are a couple of limitations, same as within the inspections. So there are limited options of offline capabilities. And the second one is mobile harvesting for now, but in the future we would like to also introduce this functionality.
Yes, of course. We have been talking about the virtual tables and how we support it within our Resco mobile application. And that's the difference, basically, because what we do, we fully support, we can work within our mobile application with virtual tables, and they are equivalent as normal tables, which are in the Dataverse. So, yeah, it's also possible within the offline.
Yes, but as I mentioned, the Power Platform or the model-driven app does not support the mobile harvesting. But in Resco Mobility, you are able to run the mobile harvesting or enable the creating of the knowledge base within the Resco mobile application, so you are able to create the draft of the guide in the field.